Well, hello and welcome back to the Thick Boys Podcast, the thickest podcast in the entire world. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Phillips.
Wait for it. It's not gone yet. And I'm Carlos.
Bye-bye. Hello. Welcome back, guys. It's been a spell. We here at the Thick Boys Podcast, we need a little R&R, a little rest and relaxation. We also had pretty busy schedules and everything like that. But we thank you for joining us yet again for episode 7 of the Thick Boys Podcast. We have a few updates for you. Our first one is this is probably the last time you'll be seeing the set the way that it is. We're going to be doing a little bit of redesigning.
Because we may or may not have locked down an actual studio.
I wanna do it like this. I wanna do it like this.
No, that didn't happen. No,
We're literally moving 4 feet to the left.
we're just changing up.
Don't tell the audience. Carlos, rumor has it that you have a surprise for me that you've been keeping in your back pocket.
Oh my God, yes.
What's up? I don't know what this is.
Close your eyes real quick while I set this up.
Shapoopy.
So to give some context, I love myself a nice instrument here and there.
Okay.
And I was
No way.
scrounging through the internet. I went on Amazon. They had one of these for sale, and I've always wanted one of these. Mm-hmm. And so now is the time to bring it out. And to give you context, I ordered this like weeks ago.
Okay.
And
I remember when it came and you were like, "Don't look at it." And I was like, "What is it?"
I wanted to tell you about it so bad. I wanted to show you, but I'm like, I'm gonna wait till the podcast.
Yeah.
And then we delayed the podcast, so I had to delay showing you. So I've been waiting for this. So you can open your eyes.
No.
I got a melodica. So let me do my scales real quick.
I love it.
And I also practiced a small song that you may or may not recognize on the melodica.
Oh my God.
It's not great because I haven't had a lot of time to practice, considering it's hard to practice a melodica when you live next to the person you're trying to hide it from.
we kind of share a wall.
I took it to work one day and I was like practicing it all day. And my boss is like, "Is that a melodica? That's awesome."
You like open up your drawer and you're like,
So let's give this a shot. I'm probably going to butcher this really
That's
badly.
fine. I'm excited. The dogs are going nuts.
Yeah, I butchered it terribly. If you couldn't tell because it was awful, that was the Office theme song melodica part.
Oh, I thought it was Sweeney Todd, the demon barber of Fleet Street. No.
No. I mean, you can kind of hear it. Also, it's probably really loud for people's ears.
I don't care. I love it. This is great. Yes.
So, yeah, it's a melodica. I added it to my collection.
Yeah, find this on our new set.
Yeah.
This will definitely become, along with some of our past props and our future props. Yeah. This will definitely be a.
And we may or may not have a beautiful little set piece.
Ooh, yes.
Sent to us by a good friend. Well, sent to you.
Yes.
But,
I got a nice birthday gift, and my birthday gift to you guys, we'll be showing it to you next time on the Thick Boys Podcast. But with that being said, we are moving on to the next part of our show today, which will be Carlos's video of the week. What do you have to show me, Carlos? I hear, a little birdie named Carlos Rodriguez told me he has a video to show me. So show it up.
So, I'm the context guy.
Yeah.
Like if anyone you know those memes where it's like nobody blank and then whatever? The meme would be nobody and then Carlos. So a little bit of context.
Okay.
Because apparently that's just my thing. We had been talking about apex predators.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about apex predators? And I remember I brought up to you that the Burmese python has become an apex predator in the Everglades in Florida. And how it's like a real problem. Because we were watching like Godzilla, I think.
Yeah.
So we were talking about how like Godzilla is like the apex predator, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember the conversation.
Like the top in the food chain.
Yeah, so Burmese pythons are a real fucking problem in Florida, and I thought I'd show you a little documentary.
Oh,
a short 5-minute documentary so you can see that it's a real thing.
All right. Good to go.
Animals and plants introduced from non-native environments cost the U.S. an estimated $120 billion a year, including the Burmese python, a top predator that's been wiping out other forms of life in the Everglades. But one local agency is fighting back by unleashing an even deadlier force.
What?
Floridian.
An even deadlier force, Floridians. Just people that live in Florida. They're just saying.
Oh, they didn't cut to it. They didn't cut to B-roll of humans. I thought they were just releasing another snake, and they're just going to release
another apex predator.
Like meanwhile, like Big Snake is like, yes, more snakes. Companies, we love companies here at the Boys. Like, oh my god. Okay, so Floridians.
So
let's see what they got.
Python hunters.
Oh Jesus. Okay. This already feels like a
This is going to be our secret
mockumentary.
weapon today. This time of year, the pythons are deep in there. This morning, it's hot. We may get lucky, but where they are is going to be in their little nested areas. That's what this is going to enable us to do, is to party crash. Right? Let's go party crash. I'm feeling lucky.
Since
Are ya?
2008, Tom Rahill and his group called the Swamp Apes have captured approximately 400 pythons. Though Rahill is a prolific hunter, he also has a day job working with computers.
This man's a shit. Dude, this guy's awesome. He's just like, by day, I fix your Word and Excel issues, but by night, I hunt pythons.
Google Sheets during the day, Snake Sheets at night. No. I just don't For those that don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of snakes. I'm not big on them. I'll touch them.
I'll touch them.
I'll do whatever to make you shut up. But I don't want to be near them. And so for this guy to willingly be like, this is my life.
Dude, these are true American heroes. The people of Florida.
True patriots.
Dude, Florida's going to be overrun.
I mean,
by these snakes. So these
let's
people.
Let's see what Ed's got going on or whatever.
Hunter, he also has a day job working with computers. To hunt pythons, he uses a camera probe, a knife, and his hands.
No gloves?
That's a man.
Is a World Heritage Site. It's a international biosphere. To get to that point very clearly shows that it has a uniqueness unto the world. The Everglades are a very flat geologic area that effectively have a river running over it.
I have so many judgments for the people within
You've never
Florida.
been to Florida?
I've never been further south than Tennessee. Excluding LA, but that's like not south.
Wow. I've been to Florida, I want to say twice.
Like, I rag on Florida a lot for not having ever been there, but I know it's got some nice spots. Like Everglades look pretty cool.
Everglades, man, it's a wildlife destination, man.
Yeah.
The river is really the health of the Everglades.
The South Florida Water Management District is tasked with protecting the health of the Everglades and managing the python problem.
They were first found in the 1980s in the Everglades, but really became a problem after Hurricane Andrew, when several pet facilities were destroyed, and also people were buying these snakes and keeping them in their houses.
That's
and
what bothers me.
Eventually, they become too
That's
big to
what
maintain.
wakes me out. It's just like people were like, It's like do you remember when like those Asian beetle things that look a lot like ladybugs but aren't ladybugs, and now those are what people call ladybugs?
Oh, yeah.
Like the actual ladybugs are like red with black spots and stuff, but the annoying ones that smell gross, like people just call it, like that thing just invaded is not a ladybug at all.
Yeah.
And like
Invasive
so like
species,
imagine
man.
keeping those as pets. Like that's what this guy is.
Well, it's like those people that buy like exotic cats,
Yeah.
like as like small kittens and shit, and then just like
Go on, little.
They grow up.
Go
and then
on,
you're
little
like,
Bengal.
oh shit! Now I just have a fucking mountain lion.
Yeah.
What do I do with this?
How did I get this puma?
I
How
did
did
not
this-
think this through.
Food and nutrients plus time equals growth?
Yeah, so Burmese pythons, man. Oh my god.
pain. You know, a 6-foot snake is one thing, but when you have a 15-foot snake that needs to eat regularly, it becomes too much, too burdensome. So people found a place to release them, and that ecosystem in the Everglades is uniquely similar to their native habitat in the
Yikes.
Southeast Asian range.
Since 2000, the Everglades National Parks has seen a massive decrease in raccoon, possum, bobcat, and rabbit populations.
That was a
Pythons
climb.
25
Raccoons, yeah, they're pretty common pests.
Rabbits.
Possums, not too bad. Rabbits, you know, I see a lot of bunnies. That's understandable. And bobcats, you know, the tigers of the Midwest. Okay. Jesus.
species of birds, including the endangered wood stork. The python population in Florida is somewhere in the thousands, with the highest numbers in the Everglades. They've replaced the indigenous predators at the top of the food chain, tipping the natural balance of the ecosystem.
Back in March of 2017, the Water Management District Governing Board charged us with creating an incentive program to essentially pay for 25 highly trained people to go out and remove as many pythons as possible. And that's what we have here today.
The pythons have made a significant impact, a negative impact on the health of the ecosystem. It throws off the entire ecosystem.
After hours of searching, Ray
yeah.
Hill and his team spotted signs of a python.
What is that down there?
Would you like, if you knew that there was significant payment, because they'll talk about how much they actually get paid per python and shit, and how it breaks
Like if
down.
I wasn't in my field and wasn't passionate, and I was just kind of like a blank canvas. I don't like.
I feel like I would think about
it's a lot of stories. Like you definitely don't have. You maybe have like boring days where like nothing happens, but like there's that excitement. Like there's a ramp up.
Yeah.
Like so, I understand it. It's almost like an adrenaline rush. I don't know. Though.
Like if you and the boys just got together, like boys, we're going python hunting today.
we're getting those thons.
Like I feel like that'd be a fun little adventure to go on with the boys.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want it to be my
Instead
career.
of playing Fortnite with the boys, you go python hunting with the boys. You know?
In there, see that?
snakes.
Big shit, man.
It's the skin of a python that's grown out of its old skin. So it comes from the head, and then the tail is the last thing to go. So the position of the tail, the snake was going that way. Just come here.
Yes. It's about to ramp up,
Yeah,
baby.
that's something moving. All right, everybody ready?
Oh.
Easy.
Oh. Easy. Fucking just leaves.
Underneath me.
Trips.
God. Then they just throw it in a fucking burlap sack.
What? I got it there. Yeah.
Just instantly kill it, please.
Stretch them out. All right, let's start moving them up. Ready? He's an animal.
Oh shit!
Dude, straight up, that's just what it feels like wrestling with Luna when she's just in one of those moods where she's like, I want to hang out with you, but I also... and you're just like, oh my god, don't bite me. Where she just lays down next to you, and then next thing you know, she just goes... and you're like...
God. I like Luna way more than I could ever like one of these, though.
Bro,
I love the smell
handle
of
the
humans
snake
in the
before you
morning.
all go hugging.
She's starting to hiss. Beautiful animal, but you gotta go. We love these Everglades, and it's just a shame. It's gotta go.
The next day, the Swamp Babes team delivered the python to the South Florida Water Management District for measurement and an autopsy.
I do not have that
The program
much-
pays hunters for
that
pythons
much
by the
patience.
foot.
Alright, so it is official 15.
They
15?
pay by the foot.
Right now, they're just taking the snake. They're getting an accurate weight off of it. It's a lot easier to do it with.
Is it dead or alive
It's
right
dead
now?
at this point.
112. 112
What do they do to
pounds.
kill it?
I
It's
don't
a
know what they
massive
do to
snake.
kill it.
So we've got eggs.
And it
If we
has
can
fucking egg
catch a
sacs,
big
dude.
pregnant female like this, that's how many other pythons.
I
you're gonna remove
apologize.
Out of this ecosystem.
If
Yeah.
any people are,
We're gonna. I'm not editing this, so I'm gonna ask editing favor. Will you flash 5 seconds before that egg scene? A little trigger warning, maybe. That's a lot.
I mean, okay. So the thing is,
I'm sipping an ice on an empty stomach. Let it be known. So
these things are apex predators, and they are fucking up the ecosystem in the Everglades. So as unfortunate it is that it's just like
no, I just
that they have to be killed. It's kind of like they don't really have any other place to go.
yeah,
Unfortunately,
except the ground when they're dead.
yeah. Well, there's not much more to the video at this point, so
I just want to know whose bright idea. I just don't understand people in general who will have an animal as a pet and then release it. It's just not my understanding because I've owned dogs. I've grown with those dogs and those dogs have passed away. I've had cats, they've passed away. We've never been like, let's let this wild thing that can clearly kill other humans into the population.
into the population. Oh my god.
On that note, guys, thank you, Carlos, for sharing that. I mean, it is insightful. It's cool to know that that's a job. Like, it's cool to hear that Ed does more than just computer work.
Ed does more than just computer work.
But, I don't know. Snakes, man, not my thing. No bueno. Mm-mm. And on that note, we have our first copy read. It's a brief one. It's a little one.
It's a little one. Hold on, let me switch the camera.
Today's sponsor is October 28th. Stay tuned.
Ooh.
Thank you, October 28th.
I don't even know what October 28th is. I guess we'll have to find out. What's next?
Next on the agenda is segment number 2, which is, you know what it is, 3 prompts and a handshake. You remember this one? We're bringing it back. 3 prompts and a handshake with ya boys. Number 1, if you could have dinner with any living musical artist, who would it be?
I'll let you go first.
You know what? I would.
Yes!
We're gonna take a slight detour because Carlos has pointed out that I sigh a lot and I can't stop hearing about it now.
It's just become my favorite, just like Andy Phillips mannerism.
It's not an intentional bit. That's what's surprising to me. I'm just like, I do all this comedy on purpose, and that's what you laugh at.
It's just a bunch of mannerisms that you have, and that's the one that sticks out to me the most. Is I'll just be like, "Hey Andy, do you want to watch a movie?" And you'll just be in your underwear in your room, and you'll just go, "Yeah, but I gotta be up at like blah blah blah." It's just like anytime you just like I ask you something and you like have to take a quick second to think about it, you go.
I'm surprised you're not a bigger fan of arg.
Well, I like that one, but that's not. I don't think you really do that one unintentionally. Whenever you do arg, it's on purpose.
I found myself doing it earlier this week, and I was like, whoa! So 3 prompts and a handshake. I would have to say that I would very much like to pick the brain of Kendrick Lamar and just gather...
You're so woke, dude.
No, I'm genuine. Like...
No, I'm genuine.
I want to actually, because we know his basic summation, but how does he have such an artistic yet optimistic yet realistic viewpoint of the world as it is, and how he's able to put those thoughts into the phrasing and into the music that he is. Anyway, I think that'd be cool. How about you? Who's your musical artist that you would love to just sit down and have a chat with? Maybe some din.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I would want someone that's like really just like kind of fun, knows how to have a good time, knows how to like take a joke, crack a joke.
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't want my dinner to be all like intellectual or not intellectual, but like I wouldn't want it to be.
You want to have a chill time.
Yeah. So I feel like I would choose someone like, I don't know, maybe like someone like Post Malone.
Yeah.
Or something. Someone that would
That'd
just
be
be
a good
really
dinner.
just like fun to
Yeah.
just talk to.
No,
you know what?
I didn't plan on taking shots, but
I changed my mind. Shia LaBeouf.
technically a musical artist. That's fair. I agree with that. I was just thinking about him today. Good guy.
Even though I just said I wouldn't really want to have an intellectual or conversation, he's so interesting.
He's an exception.
He's so interesting.
Yeah.
He knows how to have a good time.
Yeah.
And he knows how to just like have just interesting conversations. So
Speaking of a good
Shia
time,
LaBeouf.
it's time for our second prompt, which is describe an interesting date story you have.
Ooh. Who wants to go first?
I think you do.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah.
Okay, so my freshman year of college, there was this girl in my one of my just like communications classes.
Yeah.
Like a mass comm class. It was just like a lecture hall class. So it was one of those classes where you have like 2 lecture halls and then a lab.
Yeah.
So the lecture halls were kind of big, so you don't really talk to that many people. Especially because I was in freshman year, I didn't really talk to that many people.
Yeah.
But then we had a lab, and so we ended up sitting next to each other. We got to talking. After like labs, we would like walk on campus because we basically like were walking in the same direction to our next classes. So we kind of got to know each other, and then so we like started texting a lot more, started talking, and I like take her out on a date, and not really like anywhere fancy. We literally just went to the student center to hang out, and like we went to go see like a movie at the student center.
Yeah.
You know, they have those like student movies.
Yeah.
Or like not student made
For
movies.
students.
Yeah, for students. So we go see a movie. It's all like cool. It's a good time. And then she wants me to walk her home. So I walk her home, and she lives like pretty far from campus. Not that far, maybe about 1.5 miles.
But off campus.
But like 1.5 miles at night off campus, kind of an inconvenience, but I'm like, whatever, I'll walk her home, like that way she doesn't have to walk alone. And we get to her apartment, and I'm like, all right, good night, like talk to you later. And she goes, well, like, so my mom's like coming into town, and I really want you to meet her. And she was this like Egyptian girl, and she was telling me how her mom was like really traditional. And I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, granted, this was like a first date, and even though we had kind of been talking, it was still
meeting
like
the parents after first date.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, so like you want to come inside and like meet my mom? And I was just like, I mean, it's kind of late. I should probably get home. Like, she's like, oh, okay, well, like that's fine. Like maybe you guys can meet another time. I'm like, yeah. I mean, there's always a possibility. And she's like, all right. And then she told me she loved me. And I was like, I really got to get home.
No.
And
This turned into How I Met Your Mother pilot.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
And then I kind of like, it freaked me out.
Yeah.
Because I'm like...
That's a lot when you were a freshman in college.
I was like, I'm not ready for a relationship.
Yeah. Gee whiz.
We're like a month into like school. Like,
You're just like, I just figured out what a lecture is. Like, can we pump the brakes? Like,
yeah, so that was kind of like, that was a lot.
Jeez.
I remember seeing her around campus. I basically started actively avoiding her, which is hard to do when you have classes with someone.
But yeah, like you're just like, I just don't. I
didn't have the maturity to tell her why I was avoiding her.
But it happens.
I mean, I was immature. Granted, I feel like I was still
You were
justified.
like 19,
I was still justified in being freaked out at the fact that we had been on one date.
Yeah.
And then she wanted me to like. Normally, I could care less about meeting someone's parents.
But after the first date, when she tells you she loves you,
right? But it wasn't so much that it was after the first date. It was more about the context of she had talked to me about like how traditional her parents were. She was an exchange student from Egypt, and she had she told me about she had told me about her family, and I was like, I mean, we're not even really a thing.
Yeah.
Like, we're kind of talking, and this is our first date. Like, we haven't really kissed or anything. Like, we haven't done anything. Like, we just kind of
Yeah.
met.
Well, and at that point, you got to ask yourself, you're just like, is it just because I'm here, or is it because it's me, or
Right.
yada yada yada? Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Mine's a bit more lighthearted, not as intense. It was my sophomore year of college. You were present.
I was there.
No,
I was at this date.
yeah, you knew me at this point in my life.
Oh.
And you know the person who I took out. Well, I had met this person through mutual friends and everything, and we're starting to kind of see each other and everything. And I was like, you know what? Like, I haven't really ever taken a girl on like a cute date, and so I was like, I'm gonna take this girl on a cute picnic date. I'm just like, well, it's Southern Illinois, you know. It's really good. It's really pretty, like wildlife. So let's do the cliche of going out to Garden of the Gods, but not Garden of the Gods. That's 45 minutes away. Let's go to Giant City. 10 minutes. Perfect.
I want to be cute, but like that's too much time.
But like that's a whole afternoon. Like, let's just get to the So I take her out there and pack a little thing and set a blanket out, and we're chilling on a rock, and we're just hanging out, listening to music and stuff, and being all cutesy and stuff. And we're kind of like, well, who's gonna make the first move? Yada yada.
Yada yada.
And then and then when we start doing things, we start little smooches. Nothing major.
Okay.
Calm down.
I don't know. That was just a weird way to word that you started kissing. It said we started doing things. I was like, okay, I don't really need to know.
It was nothing like that.
Well, I know, but that was just a weird thing to say.
You know, when Andy gets in a voice, he sometimes finds it hard to escape. Speaking of escaping, so we're on this rock, high off the ground, not super high, but enough that you have to like maneuver. I forgot that we weren't that far from the path, so there's a bunch of people that start walking by. We're lying down.
You're like in the middle of the path, and they're like, "Oh, excuse me, sir, don't want to step in your coleslaw."
Well,
your
we're
potato
like
salad.
we're like on our sides. We're really close together, and we stop. We don't want to be, too PDA in front of these people. And a kid stops, and I can tell because she's facing me, and her back's to the people, and I'm looking, and I'm just like, "Leave, kid! Like things are happening. Go!"
You literally said that. Get out of here, kid!
I was about to.
Kid, scram!
But instead, he points out a finger and goes, "Look at that man!" In front of a lot of people. And the adults laugh, the kids look. And I'm like, oh God. And then we turn away, wait for them to pass, and then yeah. But to this day, if you ever hear Carlos or I ever say the line, "Look at that man," that's what it is in reference to.
That's so great, man. You know the best part about that story?
What?
Is that years down the line, that kid's going to recreate that date because he was like, that was a real... I once saw a real man take out a woman to Giant City, laid out a picnic blanket. Just have a real man date.
A real man date.
Yeah.
Featuring only one man.
Yeah. Well, 2 men's fine.
2 men is fine.
2 men can date.
Thick boys.
Yes.
Progress. 2019.
Thick boys are all about progress. Marriage equality.
Speaking of progress, as we move the episode along, we're getting to our third and final prompt, which is come up with a compliment for the other person. Carlos.
Oh, wow.
I love the way you find humor and laughter in everything in life. You are able to put a smile on my face because you put a smile on your own.
Wow. That was really sweet. Oh, I have to give you a compliment?
Please!
Andy, you are a very hardworking person. And even though you come home tired, you still put up with my very disruptive and aggressive bits that I do when I realize that you're in your room. I just come in and I just start fucking with shit. And you're extremely patient with that. So, ladies, if you're single, here's a man who's hardworking and patient. So tell all your single friends. Yes. Or yourself if you're single.
Maybe. So, guys, that was 3 prompts and a handshake. And it's time for our second copy of the day, which is brought to you by Carlos, and he will be reading it as it follows, which is...
Yes. I was really excited about this sponsor, by the way. As many of you know, we love a certain someone.
We do.
On this podcast. So
it's true.
It kind of connects to that person. Are you tired of all these different streaming services with too much vagueness and variety? Well, we've got you covered. With Hank's Bank, you can watch carefully curated content from our favorite person in the world, Post 2000. Get fully loaded with Sully. Get excited coast to coast with the Post and Larry Crown. Hank's Bank will also have exclusive streaming rights to It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. So when that movie hits theaters this fall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when that movie hits theaters this fall, you'll be able to watch it from the comfort of your couch thanks to Hank's Bank. They also, now this is really exciting, They also lock down exclusive streaming rights to the planned sequel. It's an overcast day in the neighborhood, but it could be worse. It could be raining. The sun doesn't have to be out for us to have a good time. So yeah, they'll have the rights to that.
I love that that's
movie.
the official title of the sequel.
Yeah.
And that there's a sequel.
Movie hasn't even come out, and they're already like, guys, sequel's in the works.
They're like, we know we show him dead at the end.
So,
but
if you really love Tom Hanks, specifically in biopics post 2000, so no Apollo 13, don't fucking ask about it. Hank's Bank is the streaming service for you for the low price of $2.99 a month.
that's not bad.
That's pretty good. You can have access.
And Larry Crown.
And Larry Crown.
Shit, Julia Roberts.
Tom Hanks biopics
That's
post
okay.
2000, and Larry Crown will be on Hank's Bank for the low price of $2.99 a month.
Bridget Spice?
And
What?
and if you use code word thick. Hold on, I gotta place my hand right. If you use code word thick, you'll be able to get 2 months free. So, I mean, come on. Tom Hanks, biopics, post 2000, Larry
good.
Crown.
It's pretty good.
It's a good offer.
That's
It's a good streaming service.
Hanks Bank.
Thank you to Hanks Bank for
sponsoring the
sponsoring the
episode.
podcast this week.
Well, thank you to that sponsor. On that note, we're gonna get a little action going in our next and final segment of the show, which is a special one.
It's like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna.
Can Keep in mind, we recorded this next segment in the past, so his confusion is
It's been like
surprising.
a month, dude.
That's true. Our next segment is about food. And Carlos and I went on an adventure to make mac and cheese with our good friends Ryan and Tiffany, who have been guests on the show before. So we're gonna leave you with a little bit of a
I'll play
tunage
us out. I'll play us out.
as we fade out
the video.
into the video. Carlos, I'm hungry. What are we gonna do about this?
We're gonna make some food.
What are we making?
We're gonna make a good old classic American mac and cheese, but fun little twist. We're not gonna buy like a box mac and cheese where they give you the cheese.
Are we gonna buy box pasta and separate cheese?
Yeah, we're gonna make our own little cheese.
Culinary geniuses.
Some roux, as the culinary specialist would call it. More macaroni. More cheese.
Too much cheese. What?
There's a person who works here behind me.
Huh? What?
Why are these carts huge?
Because it's food for less. You're supposed to buy a bunch of food for less.
I've never been to here.
There's some elbow macaroni.
Breakfast. It's not for the mac and cheese.
You're just getting your daily groceries in.
I'm here, aren't I? Cinnamon rolls. I made cinnamon rolls when we eat them.
Huh?
I made cinnamon rolls when you eat them.
Huh?
If I made cinnamon rolls, would you eat them?
Yes. What we got here?
There's a bird. There's a bird. There's a bird in the store.
What? I like how you pointed first and then pointed the camera, as if the audience is like in hesitation. Like,
I'm
what's going
aware
on?
that birds get into stores, but it scared the shit out of me.
You can edit a bird in there.
It's like there's a bird.
Welcome, valued customer. ID check required. Help is on the way.
What y'all doing in there? It's taking a really long time. This guy just gave me the weirdest look.
Okay.
Do you want to do this no Google?
Yeah,
I can tell you how to make it.
No. This is all by.
Well, you should know what to do.
You look like your brother, the chef.
Okay, then give me a quick rundown.
A roux is equal parts butter and flour.
Got it.
You gotta whisk it together.
Done.
Too much.
That's all I need.
Too much.
That's all I needed.
Spoilers.
That's all I needed.
Alright.
Gonna whisk it together.
In here, right?
Dude, stop! That was way too much.
Oh. It's a little hot.
I don't even know how much you put in there. Dude.
Just equal it out.
Equal it out.
Oh my god.
Nice.
I'm gonna start making the cheese small.
This is a horrible pan for what we're trying to accomplish.
My hands are so buttery I can't open this.
God, be careful.
Everything about this is extremely hard to watch. My hand is so close to fire.
Stop. I'm putting in cheese, dude.
I have to get the pasta. This is so scary.
Put your hand on the whisk. We're gonna whisk together. Oh, God. Never mind, that was a bad idea. I'm sorry. Andy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, adrenaline. Here we go. Fight or flight. We gotta make this cheese.
This is how you speed cut cheese.
What a switch! So I use the mozzarella. What? You alright? Boy, that's a lot.
It needs more milk.
He needs some milk.
Yeah, Ryan did.
Here it comes.
Oh my God, you son of a bitch. Why would you put it all at once?
These are the samples.
Time for a little taste test. Mm-mm-mm.
Wow, what an experience wasn't that, guys? Like, there was a lot of mac and cheese going on.
Yeah, so
Was there?
If you guys want to watch the rest of that, watch it on our YouTube. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a really fun experience. Shout out to Ryan and Tiffany for helping us film it.
Yeah.
Specifically, shout out to Ryan for having just like no fear of filming in public places, because I have like severe anxiety about filming in stores. Like, I remember we tried to film.
It wasn't like we gave him a small GoPro and was just like, yo, be chill. He had a camcorder.
With a fucking road mic on top of it.
He had a full-on, like, this is the evening news happening. And he was just like, we're in food for less. Yeah. Like, this guy has some nerve.
Ryan also was the keeper of the recipe. He knew how to make a proper mac and cheese with a good roux.
Tiffany came in clutch with the beautiful angles.
Yes.
Good cinematography.
Yes.
Good jobs.
So that was a lot of fun to film.
And we may or may not be showing this to Carlos's brother in the future.
Oh, yeah.
He's a chef at he's been a chef for a long time, but he's worked at many a popular spot in the Chicago area, and so we would love to. He tasted it before, but he hasn't seen the process. So we wanna save that content for future installments.
Yeah,
so.
he's a legit chef who he will probably cringe at how
before we even turn on the stove.
Bad. Yeah, it was bad. It was. Yeah,
it
was a lot of fun,
Yeah.
but it was definitely quite the messy process.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for him to see it.
Fun times. And speaking of fun times, we're starting to wrap up the episode for this week, guys. Thank you again, and we'll leave you with the Twitter draft of the week from my Twitter. And this week's is gonna get some hate for this, but overly liking Halloween isn't a personality trait. I'm sorry to my friends that really love Halloween. I can already feel.
What are we doing? Like the fucking Macarena? Hey, Macarena!
Yeah, so that is the tweet of the week that will never be tweeted by me. Thank you guys for joining us yet again for a installment of Thick Boys Podcast. I've been Andy. Oh, bye.
Bye!
And
That's my name.
it is.
That's my name. That's me. I'm Carlos. Bye.
Bye. Thank you guys yet again for joining us on the Thick Boys. This has been episode 7, and we really love having you guys here. Stay tuned next week for our new setup. 4 feet away, 400 miles away. Who knows? It's gonna be new. It's gonna be different. It's gonna be fun. and keep an eye on all the new decorations and all the new content that we have in store for you guys.
Siri just went off.
Oh, speaking of Siri, we should see our way out of this episode by saying, thanks, Tom Hanks.
Bye-bye.